Hello everyone, my name is Crazy M and welcome to a new episode of Basic Training, and this time around I'm going to show you how you can fulfill the tank to its maximum potential, and I'm going to teach you how you can get the best results when you're tanking. So I've packed all this up into 10 tips for you, which I think cover all of the main stuff that you should keep in mind when you're driving a tank. So the first one that I have on the list is the one that I'm gonna call don't rush. I know a lot of people might feel invincible once during a tank, but you really are not. So my advice is to take your time, assess the situation, look around, see where the enemy armor is, see where enemy infantry is, and then start to move according to what you see. The second thing that I'm going to tell you that you should keep in mind that you are the chest piece of any push in rush especially, and in general for a conquest game or whatever. You're not the head, you're not the first one to go in battle, and you always should have people around you. You should have people in front of you, just a few, not too many, but what's more important is that you have people to the left and to the right of you that can cover your flanks, take out enemy infantry as they're trying to attack you, and overall take a lot of the burden off your shoulders and giving you more room to play. There might be really few exceptions to that there's some occasions where you as the tank have to make the push to get the objective done, but in general don't go without the infantry. You need those to protect you and be able to repair you. Tip number 3 is play like infantry. By that I mean that even though you have a lot of health, you're more just like a soldier with a lot of health, but you can also receive a lot of damage by RPGs and so on and so on. So overall you should really use your cover to your best advantage. You should peek and you should go back and forth from cover to cover, peek out and go back and all that stuff. Really just the same as you would do with infantry, just on a much larger scale with tanks. Next tip that I'm gonna give you is always keep your front towards the enemy, especially in a tank. This isn't really too much of an issue with an LV because you receive the same damage on all sides, but especially as a tank driver you should always aim to keep your front at the enemy, as you will receive the lowest damage up front, and also try to mix an angle in there if it is possible as well. This especially applies to peeking, because if you peek around a corner and you just stand at a 90-degree angle to the enemy, you will receive a lot of damage. So try to peek a little bit more frontal to that, so that you might receive lower damage once the enemy shoots at you. Also be sure to check your surroundings all the times. Check for mines, especially amp lamps, as they can be hidden quite well, and don't rush an area. Again, take your time, look around, make sure everything is clear, especially if you want to have some routes for retreat. You gotta be sure that there's nobody there, so check even your backside, make sure that everything is clear, and then advance. Keep an eye out for the sky, because there are a lot of enemies parachuting in, trying to hit you from above, trying to C4 you from above, so stay on alert all the time. Following that, the next advice that I want to give you is that you have to learn to control your tank in every situation. This especially includes driving backwards. This is a huge help, believe me. Once you master this, you can escape out of areas very quickly, and you're more capable of keeping your front towards the enemy while driving backwards. There's also a bit in there that's map dependent. Some maps the tank tends to spin out quite a bit, so try to learn spots that are safe to drive crazy. Try to learn spots where you have to take care when driving the tank that it doesn't spin out and you lose control of the vehicle. Don't be afraid to retreat and repair. Once you've taken damage, once you've taken quite a lot of heat and you see that you're on rather low health, don't just sit there and wait for it to regenerate. Go back, repair the tank, and then go in with full health again into the battle. There's no good thing in dying outdoor just because you are too lazy to repair. It might cost you some time, but after all, a dead tank is not good of a use, so go back, repair, and continue your assault. One nice tip that I can give as well is if you run against chests, especially the attack chests, the smaller ones, which do quite a lot of damage against you, do run with the APS, as it disables the main cannon and the rocket bots for some time, and it will definitely save you from getting killed by a rush jet. Point number 9 is that you should always be sure that your first shot hits, especially if the enemy tank has not seen you, if the enemy infantry has not seen you. Take your time for that first shot, because if you messed it up, the enemy tanker will be alerted, you wasted your shot, he will have time to respond, and in that time he might get the first shot off, and so you're now one shot back, and that's really a bad thing to happen. Especially if you surprise the enemy, take your time, kinda calculate the range, and then get your first shot to hit. One thing that's also counting there is that know your reload time. be sure not to peek up before you haven't filled it fully, and don't run around with no ammo available. Stick around somewhere where you're safe and wait for your ammo to replenish, and then go out and kick some ass again. The last tip that I want to give you is, if you can, try to run with a gunner that can also repair you and will keep watch for you for pesky C4 snipers and supports, and will really help you to keep your tank alive. This is kind of bit hard if you don't have any friends playing Battlefield 4, but to encourage that behavior, I also suggest that you play sometimes gunner in a tank with some random player in a pub and also help them repair the tank, and so get a good teamwork going. And the last thing that I have to tell you, please don't steal tanks from teammates. I have a nice little clip here showing you exactly why that is, because you will just end up dying if you don't have any idea of what you're doing. So just leave the tank to the one who's driving and get your own one at the spawn. I hope these few tips help you getting better at tanking. If it was helpful, please leave me a like. If you want to see more of that stuff, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe for future content from me. I hope you're all doing good, enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.